and comment on items not on the agenda, I would say there are none. Approve the consent calendar for our regular meeting minutes from February 11th, 2025. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor?
I'm gonna abstain because I wasn't there.
Fair enough.
What we usually, I will get these prepared, have them signed next meeting, and get them in the notebook, because it might be 6 months before.
Yeah,
So we do approve them at the next meeting, but sign them.
all right, so we are on to official action. I don't know.
So last meeting, you did the settlement from Rose, and she said, well, now you need to do a commitment to Christine.
Okay,
And it's for all 6 years, it's broken down, but anyways, those are the pile that's there, and it's the same numbers back to June. To get Rose off the hook and Christine on the hook on taxes.
I'll make the motion to recommit. From Rose to Christine Bowen.
Second.
any further discussion? Those in favor?
So there's two different units of requesting abatement. The first one, this Christina Elwell, was on Russell Griffin's land down on the old county road. There was a bunch of campers that he had there forever. And he finally cleaned them all out of there so he can get septics before he starts redoing it. And this one, I believe, is left town. It's painted with Patriots all over it, if you see it, but it's $202.80 for fiscal year 21 and to 1970. No, that's not correct. But fiscal years are,
2616 and 29516.
Yeah. yeah. So it's year 24, 25 is what didn't get paid. The 202 was the 24 fiscal year. And the 21970 is the 25 fiscal year. That's the first one.
Now, these are abatements on her property?
It's a
Personal
camper.
Personal.
It's a
Camper,
camper.
personal property. Okay,
We tax them as real estate. Instead of personal property. Any campers out there that people are living in, she was living there.
if it's not registered, is that why they do that?
Right, right. Yeah, if she had registered it as camper, you wouldn't
Yeah,
have it.
that'd be just.
So this is money owed?
She owed us for 2 years and then left town, so
So
it's no longer in
she's
town.
just left
Vacated.
town and there's no way of
So basically.
making
right,
payment,
right.
getting it. Payment.
If she had signed up for homestead, it would have been a totally exempt, but trying to get them to fill out a homestead form is next to them. But a lot of them, if it's less than 25,000, they are totally exempt on their homestead if they'll sign the form, and then we get half of that back from the state. But couldn't get her to do one of those.
So it's just money that's lost anyway.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve 4.2.1 and 4.2.2.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Those in favor?
So the next one is kind of Joseph Kennedy inherited Stephen Willett's mobile home at lot 23, Lady Slipper, Fred Bess's mobile home park. He moved it to St. George Cushion and paid on last year's tax. Well, when the taxes came out, it was an increase of $20.80. And I'd recommend we clean the $20.80 that it increased from the year before that they didn't pay when they moved it out of town. If you follow that. It's still on the books. I don't know where it went to.
For $20, it's not worth your time. I make a motion to approve 4.2.3.
Second.
Further discussion? Those in favor?
Waldeboro Venan Housing Nonprofit. This is 56 School Street, which will be 36 units of adults, 55 or older. I understand from Max that once the building is there, it will be taxed, but they, under their TIF, will receive 90% of it back and we'll get 10%. But until the building's there, they're asking for tax exempt status
For the lot.
for the lot.
What's usual in a case like this?
I mean, usually they're exempt, so I don't know, then they worked into an enhanced TIF deal that apparently is gonna be when the building is there and all units, which, but that was worked out of in the agreement.
So this is just the evaluation and
The
not,
43,000 is the bare land, there's nothing up there, and then as things go along,
but
then
it's evaluation, is it? They don't owe us $43,000.
No, that's the valuation,
value.
correct,
Yes.
correct.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
yeah,
no, it's not 43,000. That's the valuation. Sorry. So it was. Last year, we got $895.70 when the 80 gray building was there and it was. They bought in January of 24, so they did pay the tax last year on land. Now they've removed the building and haven't got anything started yet.
I would think not approving that would potentially slow it down, if anything.
Where you look at their total asset sheet.
Oh.
They have a lot of money.
Talk to Max about the project.
$42 million.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's total assets. They get,
I got that.
they get a
yeah.
lot of real estate.
Yes.
What's your pleasure for 2026?
I make a
Yes.
motion that we make them tax exempt. To exempt that this year.
They're income tax exempt as well, correct?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
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 Okay, I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
I'm sure they're gonna be some
It's gonna be
conversation.
back on the tax roll.
I'm sure
Someday.
there's gonna be,
2 years, he said.
there's gonna be some conversation, I'm sure, in the near future on the status of that property. So especially now that, once we get through the summer, you might see some conversations. I mean,
I believe you.
Those in favor?
Moving on down to farmland classification, Lowell Wallace Jr. passed away and left his property to Corey Wallace. And then he also had his own house and would like to move that into farmland. He has hay that is taken off the property, has chickens. There's 95 acres that was his dad's, and then the 6 acres that his, and those are valuation reductions that would come off as farmland.
was Low was in farmland before?
He was not.
He was
no,
not?
No, not at all.
I'm surprised.
Does he have a tractor?
He does.
Does it run?
Yes, he has a
Okay.
John Deere
There's a
tractor.
pause there.
Does he, does he pay excise?
Yes, he
taxes
does.
on it?
I don't believe he has the field. I think it's the neighbor that's the,
I think Melvin.
maybe, I don't.
Yeah.
Or
It's
the,
down that neck of the woods,
Yeah.
yeah.
the cheese place, the
Yeah.
dirty,
Yeah,
Cap.
could be them too.
I think.
So what will the remaining valuation of the property be, the two properties?
So the land value is gonna be 174. So you take 109 off 174. Is that like 85? No. $65,000 will be left on that. And then his was gonna. No, I got those backwards because that's the big one, right?
Are there no buildings on these properties?
Oh, yes, they pay on the buildings. I was just giving a little answer. Actually, the first one was gonna go, it was at 181 last year. And was gonna go to 296 on land, because we're pretty much doubling.
The waterfront.
And now you're gonna take 109 off that, so 296 minus 109. Is still gonna have 187,000 on it, and it was 181 last year. It's only gonna gain a $6,000 value instead of a $115,000 increase on the first one. On his was at 127, it was gonna go to 174, so it was going up 67,000, but we're gonna take 89 off.
Net decrease.
Yeah. That's gonna leave him at 85,000 instead of 127. Yeah. They have to produce 2,000 each year in crop or have another farmer use it.
Yeah, who monitors that? That's not,
Each year we send them a form that they're supposed to certify, list what the product was that came off the property or who ate it or who used it. If it comes that it's not qualifying anymore, then we can get up to 5 years back taxes. So you get the back tax plus interest once
so he's really got to farm the land
or
and-
pay back.
or pay back taxes.
If he's in more than 5 years, he'd save a few years, but yes,
That
people
seems
that,
face.
people that get out have to pay back plus interest. Or you pay the penalty, get out, and you're out.
Mhm. How would the numbers arrive, the 109 and the 89? Was that?
So we go into $1,000 an acre. If you're not in farmland, but if you're in farmland, you get the tree growth rates for the wooded part.
Mhm.
And we don't charge you for the waterfront. And the pasture, the fields, you take the farmland rates. So that's where the numbers come from.
Gut feeling? Is this legit?
Yes, yeah, it qualifies.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve 4.4.1 and 4.4.2.
I'll second it.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
The next one used to be Earl and Louise Reynolds on Poverty Lane, because they sold way back in 2005. And it was in farmland up until it sold again in 2021. No, he put it in farmland in 21. That was February of 21. It went to a Kevin Cockerer, and then when he sold to the new buyer in December of 21, they paid the penalty, got it out of farmland, but now he would like to put it back in. So he does have a barn, animals, tractor, beef, hay, chickens. It is the Earl Reynolds farm on Poverty Lane, if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't, so they don't get where the buildings are. We tax that as everybody else. He also put a cabin up there where you can go rent a cabin, and so that gets taxed regularly. Yeah. Put a new septic cabin, B and B
Like a
or.
B&B, yeah.
Seems like a modest adjustment. I'll make a motion to approve 4.4.3.
Yeah, second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
The next one is in farmland. It's Eric Starks down on Dutch Neck. He's got it in LLCs, 6 acres and 2 acres, and he doesn't really have enough hay for people to really keep farming. But he did put it, a conservation easement to the Menominee Valley Land Trust back in 2008, which is under Midcoast. So there's no penalty if he goes from farmland to open space. And if the value goes up, so he pays more in taxes, but he doesn't have to meet the crop 2,000 a year. So recommend that change over.
So open space
Open
is
space,
less valuable than farm.
no, more valuable.
No.
It goes up in value,
So we're
increasing.
in, this is a plus, not a
Yes.
minus. Okay.
It-
Well, that seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, but it goes to, he put in conservancy, didn't he?
So he has, so like the first one there, it says 42,000. That's the reduction. It was gonna be, we had 158,000 on land. We were gonna go to 304,000 because this is down on the waterfront. But he's gonna get 42,000 off because he has the conservation easement that says he's not gonna build on the property, but there is a house there and it is developed. He's got the view, but the land and field's protected. It's 8 acres, but he's only gonna have one house, he can't put other houses there, so he gets a reduction of 42,000. That's off the increase to 304 from 158, so, but under the farmland, it would have been a huge reduction.
What's the minimum lot size to do conservation?
Whatever, there is none.
Really?
It's whatever the land trust will accept. So they don't accept everybody. Some of them they refuse and say, no, you just don't meet our criteria or so or whatnot. So they have denied some people.
End of the day, it's an increase in the assessment.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'll make a motion to, well, 4.5, to grant 4.5.1 and 4.5.2.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? Those in favor?
And then if you could go into an executive session for 2 poverty abatements, basically.
Motion to go into executive session.
Second,
Those in favor, going into executive session?
gotta shut that thing off, though.
Yeah.
Oh, is he there?
He's
I
there.
didn't see him hiding.